إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون أما بعد قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من مس الحصى فقد لغى. A reminder to avoid any distractions that may be around you, whether that is the phone in front of you or the friend who is around you, for the next 20 to 30 minutes, such that you may obtain the full reward of the Jum'ah inshaAllah. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم المؤمن القوي خير وأحب إلى الله من المؤمن الضعيف وفي كل خير. My brothers and sisters, I want you to pay attention with me here, because Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is about to lay out for you the plan to success. Success in what? Success in anything. In your life and in your akhirah. المؤمن القوي خير وأحب إلى الله من المؤمن الضعيف وفي كل خير واحرص على ما ينفعك واستعن بالله ولا تعجز وإن أصابك شيء فلا تقل لو أني فعلت كذا وكذا ولكن قل قدر الله وما شاء فعل. 5 points are the summary of my whole khutbah today. And I want you to take these 5 points, memorize them, and apply them for everything in your life. Because according to the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, these are the steps that should be taken at all times in order for you to succeed. Whatever you are planning, whether it is planning something for your dunya, whether you are planning to look for a job, whether you are planning to pursue a degree, whether you are planning to memorize the Quran, whatever it is, you can always take these 5 steps and apply them everywhere, and inshallah you will find success wherever you are. Step number 1, our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he tells us, المؤمن القوي خير وأحب إلى الله من المؤمن الضعيف, which literally translates to, the strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah Azza wa Jal than the weaker believer. Now what does this really mean? What is stronger and weaker here? So overall there are 2 general interpretations. One interpretation tells us that the mu'min who is stronger in their iman is better and more beloved to Allah than someone who has a weaker iman. And this is a correct interpretation. However, there is another group of scholars who take this interpretation and they actually extend it. And they extend it to everything. So they say the believer who is better in anything is better and more beloved to Allah than the believer who is lesser in that thing. So for example, yes, the stronger believer in iman is better than someone who has a weaker iman. But also someone who is physically stronger is better than someone who is weak. Someone who is more skilled at something is better and more beloved to Allah compared to someone who is unskilled. Someone who is educated is better and more beloved to Allah Azza wa Jal compared to someone who is uneducated. Now what is this trying to teach us over here? Now by the way, it does say وَفِي كُلٍ خَيْرٍ. So whether you are this or that, there is good in everybody as long as we are believers in Allah Azza wa Jal. But there is an important point here. What do we learn from this one point? If I plan to pursue success in anything, for my deen or my dunya, step number 1, I need to aim to be the best. I have to aim to be the best. If I want to be a successful engineer, I have to aim to be the best at engineering. If I want to be a successful doctor, I have to aim to be the best doctor. If I want to be successful in my deen, with my Quran, with my connection with Allah Azza wa Jal, then I have to be the best compared to all of those who are around me. I have to seek to be the best in order for me to find my success. This is the first point in order for me to find success in anything. Acquire the skills and aim to be the best at it. Point number 2. وَاحْرِصْ عَلَى مَا يَنْفَعُكَ. Aim to do that which is beneficial for you. Meaning, now that you have acquired the skills, don't just sit back. Don't just expect everything to land in front of you without you putting in any work. Go and do something useful with your life now. You've acquired the skills, alhamdulillah. Now go. Start moving. Put in some work. Don't just sit still and do nothing. Have a strategy. Build a vision. Follow a plan. Be eager to perform that which is beneficial. For example, it's beneficial for me to be a good believer, to have a strong connection with Allah Azza wa Jal. But that doesn't come by itself. I need to stand up. I need to put more effort in my Quran, in my adhkar, in my prayers, with my connection to Allah Azza wa Jal. In order for me to achieve that position that I am looking to achieve, well, that also needs some work, doesn't it? You also need to put in the effort. You need to see what responsibilities pertains that position that I'm looking for. I need to put in work. I need to put in those skills that I acquired into work such that I may get the fruits of the effort that I would put in. Every person needs to have something that they're working towards. A goal, a vision, a target. So you need to ask yourself right now, as you are living, what is your target? Why are you alive? What's your goal? What's your vision? Whether you are young or whether you are old. Don't use your age as an excuse. As long as you are alive and breathing at the moment, it's for a reason. Allah Azza wa Jalla is blessing you with this. So what's your goal? What's your target? What are you looking to achieve? Because a person who does not have goals will not achieve anything. They will not be able to do anything. And it's not just one goal, by the way. When I say form your goal, I mean it's a combination of goals. It's goals for your akhirah, but also goals for your dunya. Both are parts of the same equation. You cannot only pursue a goal for your akhirah and then completely abandon your dunya. And at the same time, you cannot only pursue the goals of the dunya and the success of the dunya while neglecting my akhirah. I need to have both sides of the equation. So set goals for your deen and for your dunya. So perhaps my goal for my deen is, perhaps I want to memorize a portion of the Quran. Perhaps I want to increase my knowledge in fiqh, in knowledge in tafsir. And also set a goal for your dunya. Perhaps, I want to work on myself and get a certain position in the company. Or I want to pursue a master's degree or a PhD. Or this is وَاحْرِصْ عَلَى مَا يَنْفَعُكَ. Be eager to put in the skills that you acquired for your own benefit. To have a plan. This is step number 2. Have a plan, a goal, a strategy, a vision, and put your skills towards that goal. Number 3. وَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. After you have outlined your goals, after you have now, you have an image of what's your plan, what's your vision, what you are looking to achieve, before you go ahead and do anything, before you start anything, step number 1 has to be to raise your hands up to Allah Azza wa Jal. This is وَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. Seek out Allah Azza wa Jal. Ask Allah Azza wa Jal for help. Make dua to Allah Azza wa Jal, because at the end, we are incapable of anything unless we have the tawfiq of Allah Azza wa Jal. Every single salah we recite it, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. Oh Allah, we seek your assistance, O Allah Azza wa Jal, because if you don't assist me, O Allah, then I'm nothing. I can't succeed in anything without your tawfiq, O Allah Azza wa Jal. And our scholars teach us that one of the most effective ways whenever you're about to take a big decision in your life, whenever you are presented with a multitude of choices and you just don't know, like, should I go for this or should I go for that? One of the most powerful means for you to seek Allah's assistance is through istikhara. Istikhara. You pray to offer 2 rak'ahs for Allah Azza wa Jal. And you make a dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. And ask Allah to show you and to guide you for that which is best for you. Ask Allah from your heart, oh Allah, I don't know what's best for me. Oh Allah, I don't know where the khair is. I think Allah, this is something that I want, but I don't know. Allah, you know. أنت تعلم وأنا لا أعلم. Oh Allah, you know what's best for me. I don't know what's good for me. I want to pursue this field. I want to open up my own business. I want to get married. I want to start a family. Oh Allah, if this is the best way for me, then oh Allah, help me through it. Guide me through it. Make it easy for me. So this has to always be the first step in anything. I start by asking Allah Azza wa Jal. If I am skipping this step, then I am already setting myself up for failure. So, this is ista'in billah. Seek Allah's assistance. وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. And this is so beautiful. I love this one piece of the dua. وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. Don't give up. Don't give up. Subhanallah. It's motivation. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is giving you a push. He's telling you, look, don't expect everything to come in a silver platter. Now that you've acquired the skills, you're putting in effort, you made your istikhara, you made dua. Don't expect that all of a sudden everything is gonna, mashallah, go smooth sailing. You're not gonna face any difficulties. You're not gonna face any turbulence on your path to success. So it's implying, look, it's gonna be a rough path. It's gonna be difficult. You're gonna face difficulties. You may encounter times where you think, like, did I even make the right decision? You may encounter times when you feel like giving up. I'm not good for, I'm not set out for this. Right? But Prophet ﷺ, whenever you find yourself in these moments, remember, وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. Don't give up. When you feel like stopping, just find the motivation to get up. Keep walking. As long as you have the energy, keep walking, keep pushing, keep asking Allah Azza wa Jal. Because you've done what you can. You have to put in the effort. This is now the time, literally now the time for your blood and your sweat and your tears. You have to put in effort in order for you to go and read, subhanAllah, the biography of Muslims and non-Muslims. SubhanAllah, whenever we see like successful figures in our world, whether they are modern or ancient, whatever, you will find that none of them started off easy. And their route was not easy either. And in many times they encountered failures. SubhanAllah, whether you read the stories of multimillionaires or whatever and how they almost faced bankruptcy, or whether you are reading the stories of scholars and world-renowned scholars and how they got to where they got and how the struggle that they faced with their families and their pursuit of knowledge and whatnot, right? So don't expect it to come easy for you. Brothers, if I can ask everybody just to come forward and fill in the gaps as it's already getting pretty packed. And subhanAllah, even if when we study the seerah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we find in his seerah that he always starts off by making dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. But does he then just sit still and wait for Allah's miracle to come down and for Quraysh to accept Islam and everything to become rainbows and sunshine? Doesn't work that way. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ starts with plan A. Plan A doesn't work, let me try plan B. Plan B doesn't work, let me try plan C, plan D. I'm going to keep trying and trying and trying until I find the results that I want. This is وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. Never give up. Never sit still. Keep trying over and over. However, at the same time, we all know that the reality of life is that we don't always get everything that we want. It's the reality of the life that we live in. Sometimes we set our eyes on something and we put in genuine and honest work and we're unable to achieve it. So suppose things don't go that way that you want. Suppose you run into major difficulties. Suppose, I don't know, you wanted to open your own company. And you did all the studying and the planning and whatnot, but it didn't work out. Suppose you studied really, really hard to get admitted into that one university. You wanted to enter that specific program. You wanted to enter into medicine, but it just didn't work out. You didn't get the results. You didn't get the grades. Something happened in your family and you had to just leave it all and go travel and do something. Not because of you. You put in honest effort, but it was something beyond your control. SubhanAllah, you tried everything you could. You literally knocked on all the doors, but all the doors were shut. Not a single door opened up for you. What should I do in this case? This is point number 5 that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ teaches us. And he says, وَإِنْ أَصَابَكَ شَيْءٍ فَلَا تَقُلْ لَوْ أَنِّي فَعَلْتُ كَذَا وَكَذَا. If things don't go as planned, now is not the time for you to go back and think, I wish I had done this. I wish I had not done that. I wish I had listened to that person. I wish I didn't listen to that person. I wish I trusted myself when I was thinking about this and that. I wish I selected this. You, subhanAllah, you start opening up this endless spiral of regretting and just making yourself feel depressed and miserable about the choices that you make. You go back in your memory and you start reliving your past. And you start thinking that, what if I did that? How about I did that? Maybe if I did this. Subhanallah. The past is past. What has happened has happened. The choices you made are made. You cannot rewind time. You cannot click undo. You cannot click delete and restart. It doesn't work that way. You put in the effort. And this is the attitude of a Muslim. You put in the effort, but the results are in the hands of Allah Azza wa Jal. So rather, you do not dwell on the past, and rather, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ teaches us the phrase that we should all remember. وَلَكِنْ قُلْ قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. This is the point where you display your iman to Allah Azza wa Jal. And you say, Oh Allah, I am submitting myself to your qadr. قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. Allah's qadr was effective. Whatever Allah wills is whatever shall happen. So do not let the past weigh you down. Don't go into this miserable spiral of depression and regret and blaming yourself and blaming others and pointing fingers and putting on reasons and whatnot. This is not what a believer does. You saw an opportunity and you genuinely thought it was good for you. And you put in honest effort. You made dua to Allah. You prayed your istikhara. But Allah had a better plan for you. What can you do? Accept it. The faster you accept it, the easier of a life you're going to live. The faster you accept it, the more peace you will find inside of you. It is what it is. The door was shut. Move on to the next chapter of your life. قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ وَمَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ. These 5 simple steps are literally the blueprint for life. For anything in your life. Taken straight from the sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Very simple. So I'm just going to quickly summarize these 5 steps very quickly. So al-mu'minu al-qawiyyu khayrun wa ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if. That the strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah compared to the weaker believer. Stronger in what? Stronger in anything. But there is good in all believers. وَاحْرِصْ عَلَى مَا يَنْفَعُكَ. Make sure you develop a goal, have a vision, have a strategy. Don't just live a life without any target. Make the most out of your life. Make the most out of your skills and your abilities and put them to benefit yourself and benefit others. وَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ. Once you have your goals in mind, you need to raise your hands to Allah Azza wa Jal. Make your istikhara. Ask Allah to guide you and to make things easy for you. وَلَا تَعْجَزْ. Spiritual effort is not enough in itself. You need to put in physical effort. There has to be hard work, physical work, mental work. Your goals are not going to accomplish themselves. You need to stand up and you need to accomplish your goals. And what if things don't work out for whatever reason? وَإِنْ أَصَابَكَ شَيْءٍ فَلَا تَقُلْ لَوْ أَنِّي فَعَلْتُ كَذَا وَكَذَا. If things don't go according to plan, don't now start going into the past and reliving the past and regretting your decisions. Rather move on and accept Allah's qadr. In one version of the hadith, فَإِنَّ لَوْ تَفْتَحُ عَمَلَ الشَّيْطَانِ. Because once you start to say, what if and had I done this and that, now you're opening the door for shaitan to come and play in your head. So rather we say قدر الله وما شاء فعل. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. I just want to conclude with one more point. I want to actually expand a little bit more about this final point, the concept of qadr. Because qadr is one of the 6 pillars of iman. Al-imanu bil-qadari khayrihi wa sharrih. So, and understanding this pillar of qadr, we truly get to see one of the biggest blessings that Allah has brought forth in our life. It gives you a sense of peace, of tranquility, of acceptance in your life. Because qadr eliminates doubt. Qadr eliminates regret. You see, it's important that you look back and learn from your mistakes. That's important. But you don't dwell on your mistakes. There's a difference. You look back and you say, okay, I did this wrong. Maybe for the future, I'll improve it. But I don't look at the past and be like, oh my God, why did I do that? I do not dwell on the past. I realize that Allah has decreed something. I had something in my mind, but Allah has decreed something else. So I accept it and I move on. Now, qadr in itself is a very deep topic. And, it's not enough to cover in one khutbah, honestly. But this hadith teaches us a simple aspect about qadr, which I want to just quickly share with all of us. And understand this point, okay? Qadr should never be used to justify the future. Rather, qadr is used to move on from the past. Okay, let me say that again. Qadr is not used to justify the future. Qadr is used to move on from the past. What do I mean by this? Let's say today you have a goal in your mind, or someone suggests to you something that, why don't you go and study? Why don't you go become a doctor? Why don't you pursue this and that? Why don't you learn? And you say, Allah didn't write it for me. Subhanallah. You're using Allah's qadr as an excuse to hold you back. Do you have some sort of knowledge of al-ghaib? Has Allah opened the books of qadr to you for you to read and know what Allah has decreed, such that now you are using Allah's qadr as an excuse to move you back and to hold you still? How do you know Allah's qadr? You try your best to be successful. You take all the steps needed. And in fact, you should expect the best out of Allah's qadr. You should have high expectations of Allah Azza wa Jal. Don't use qadr to hold you back. Qadr is meant to be used whenever you reflect on the past. That, okay, I tried something and I didn't end up working. I invested in this company and I ended up losing my money. I tried opening a company, it didn't last. Oh well, qaddar Allah wa ma sha'a fa'al. This is what qadr is used for. It just, khalas, move on from the past. The past is past. I need to move on to the future. And last but not least, realize that whatever path you choose for yourself, whatever successes and failures that you end up encountering in your life, realize that is the best qadr for you. Realize that you might think something is best for you, but always keep in mind Allah's qadr is the best qadr for you, even if sometimes we cannot comprehend it. This is the true meaning of qaddar Allah wa ma sha'a fa'al. Al-imanu bil-qadr. That, I don't understand why I failed. I don't understand why things ended up this way. But I trust in Allah Azza wa Jal. I trust that Allah wants the best for me. And believe me, dear brothers and sisters, if we were to see all the possible pathways for me in my life, I would always choose Allah's qadr. We may not be able to see it now, but realize Allah Azza wa Jal has the bird's eye view. Allah knows how things will end up if you were to take certain choices in your life. You just need to put your trust in Allah, have optimism, positive thoughts. So therefore, never use qadr as an excuse for the future. Rather, use qadr as a source of comfort and consolation for what has happened in the past, and say, qaddar Allah wa ma sha'a fa'al. اللهم اني داع فامنوا اللهم لا تدع لنا في مقامنا هذا ذنبا الا غفرته ولا هما الا فرجته ولا كربا الا نفسته ولا مريضا الا شفيته ولا مبتلا الا عافيته ولا حاجة لنا من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة هي لك رضا ولنا فيها صلاح إلا أعنتنا على قضائها ويسرتها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في غزة. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في جميع بقاع الأرض يا رب العالمين. اللهم كن لهم عونا في لبنان وفي السودان وفي سوريا وفي كل مكان. اللهم كن لهم معينا ومؤيدا ونصيرا. اللهم عليك باليهود الغاصبين فإنهم لا يعجزونك يا رب العالمين. اللهم أرنا فيهم عجائب قدرتك. اللهم عجل بنصرك الذي وعدتنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات. عباد الله، اتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله أمركم بأمر بدأ فيه بنفسه فقال عز من قائل: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.